Right, I'm just sharing. I've just done this and I'm sharing it because it's cool. What have I done? I have created myself an account on Claude.code. I have created an API key and I've bought myself $5 worth of credits. I've then gone on to Power Automate and I have created a custom connector, which there isn't one out of the box in Power Automate. You have to make it. I'll show you how you make it. But then I've created a flow and I'll show you how this flow works. So what I do here is I've got a manual trigger, could be anything. And in this, I have said, ask for some text. I then take that text, I pass it through to Claude. It goes away, it processes using that custom connector, and it comes back. I asked it, what's the best bar in New Orleans? And it came back and went, there's so many to choose from, there is no best bar. But look, it proves that it works. It proves that you can connect Power Automate up with, some of these pretty powerful models that you've got available within Claude without having to go down the route of, for example, if your tenancy allowed you to do this using Power Automate Studio, you might be able to do this. But I did this and it cost me 1 cent. So this is a cheap way to get this working. To do this though, you need to make that custom connector, and I'll show you how to do it. So I just went on to within Power Automate, I had a look at more, discover all, custom connectors. I'm sure you know how to get here. And then within that, if I click edit, I created a connector and gave it a name. I've called mine Claude Connector. And then it says, what do you want to connect to? api.anthropic.com. And I left the base URL blank. So under security, how do you want to connect through to this? I want to connect through to it using an API key, the one that I just created. And I had to give this a parameter name, and I've called this sx-api-key parameter location header. Then I had to go and define what I was doing with this connector. So what am I doing? I'm sending a message to Claude. Now this is important. Yeah, it's going to have to interpret what you send it. So the operation ID that I'm using here is send message. I had to give it a URL to send this to, so api.anthropic.com/v1/messages, and give some header information. And I clicked on import from sample and pasted in the code that I'm going to share below, just to get you started. Then I had to give a definition of what a response would look like. And again, I went through and I pasted in like here is what a response from this would look like. I'll share that with you, the information that I pasted there as a sample. That's about it, really. There's not much more to it. Oh, except to say, if you try and test it, so I then went through, clicked on test, and it failed. It turns out it will fail. That's because when you're doing it in this way, when you're clicking on test, you're doing it through a browser, and that API doesn't accept requests of that type. So it is going to fail at this stage, but it is not going to fail when you run it as part of a flow, which I'm sure you will be doing. Now you know how to connect Claude up with Power Automate. So I'll share all those details about the setup below. But yeah, powerful.